Hey guys, I'm going to share with you one of my favorite French dishes to serve in the summertime, known as Tomate Farcie. Now, this recipe is actually inspired by my mother-in-law, Morissette, who every summer when we spend time with her at the beach, she whips up a big batch of these and everybody just oohs and ahs because they are so delicious. Now, this is a recipe that you probably will not find in a lot of restaurants in France. It's really home cooking at best. This is the kind of recipe that's probably not going to get a lot of clicks on this channel, but it is such a great childhood classic. I want this recipe on the channel just so that the girls will know how to make it the way Mom did one day. So girls, this one's for you. So the first thing you want to do is start with some very ripe tomatoes. We are in the height of tomato season, so you should be able to get some real beauties. And maybe because I'm a gardener, I don't know, but I do like to keep the little stems on the tomatoes. So look for the ones that are vine ripened, that come with the stems already attached. The stems make for great little lids, as you'll see in a minute. So you're going to slice the tops off the tomato. You want to leave enough room so that you do create a nice lid. Then you want to go in with like a melon baller and just core out the tomato. So we want to make sure that we remove the ribs and the seeds and the juice, and you can put that in a big bowl. And one of the things I do with this is I make a fantastic tomato sauce with it. So I'll leave you that recipe in the description, but we don't need the insides, unfortunately, for this recipe. But don't throw it away because it'll make a great sauce. And one tip I will say is make sure that you match the lid with the tomato, because if you mix them up, it'll be really hard to size the right lid with the right tomato because they're all different sizes. So a little tip for you. So once your tomatoes are all hollowed out, you can set those aside, and then we're gonna work on the stuffing, or the farce, as they say in French. So tomate farcie is basically just stuffed tomatoes. So you do want to use a fatty cut of pork for this because it'll add a lot more flavor to it. That's one of the things that took me a few years to figure out is I think the pork in France is a little fattier. Here in the States, we're so concerned with everything having fat in it that I think all of our pork is so lean. So do ask your butcher to grind you a fatty cut of pork, and you're gonna use 2 pounds. So to the pork, we're going to add 3 garlic cloves that have been minced, 2 teaspoons of salt, some freshly ground pepper, 2 teaspoons of herbes de Provence. If you're not familiar with herbes de Provence, it's a wonderful French seasoning. At our house on the counter, it's salt, pepper, and herbes de Provence. I use it to just about everything. And 2 tablespoons of fresh parsley. And then the final thing we want to do is take some white sandwich bread, remove the crusts, save those for some croutons, and then chop up your white bread into little cubes. And then you're gonna add 3 tablespoons of milk. I know this sounds like a really weird thing, but this is what is going to lighten our meat inside and make it a little bit less heavy. This is something my Italian grandmother used to do for meatballs too, so I do know that it works. And then the best way to mix this up is really with your hands, so go on in there, don't be shy, and mix that all together. And now it's time to stuff our tomatoes. So I think the easiest way to do this is just with an ice cream scoop. So go ahead and scoop out the filling, and you're gonna stuff each tomato and then pop the little top on it. Isn't it cute? So then once all your tomatoes are stuffed and they have their little tops on, the other thing I like to do is add a 1/4 cup of a dry white wine. This is not something Morissette does. I like to do it because I find that it actually adds to a really wonderful sauce. As these tomatoes roast, they start to emit their juices, and then the pork underneath starts to also emit the juices, and then adding a little wine, you'll have one sensational sauce. And then you're gonna bake at 400 degrees Fahrenheit for just about 45 minutes. That should do the trick. And then you can pull it out, and then just with a ladle, go in there and take some of those beautiful juices and pour it all over each tomato, just so they have a nice shine, and it's nice and juicy when you serve it at the table. And then I usually give everybody 1 to 2 tomatoes with a big spoonful of rice, and you will have one delicious summertime dinner. It is such a delicious flavor combination between the ripe tomatoes, that flavorful meat inside, and of course those delicious juices. It is French home cooking comfort food at its best. I hope you guys give this one a try and let me know what you think. Subscribe for more recipes, and I will see you back here next week with another one. Until then, bye.